It sounds like private debt is great for a borrower, but one of the reasons, investors have wanted to get into private debt is that often it's structurally better in terms of either seniority or better covenants. But I've read that there's been a lot of covenant-light deals within your market now. Has this meant that the credit enhancements which one should have seen in private debt no longer exist?
There has been some, let's say, initiative to introduce the curve-like structure in the private debt market in 2020, 2021, at least in Europe. That's what we have seen. At the moment, we don't see those strategy expanding, which we believe is a good thing. So we hope that it was just a sign of the frenzy in the market around 2020, 2021, because eventually we do believe that having some covenant, meaningful covenant, is really a key part of the value proposition for private debt investors.
I've also read that leverage is higher within private markets. There are more covenant add backs to EBITDA, for example. So in fact, the credit quality is lower, and that's why you're getting the premium rather than the liquidity premium. I mean, how would you answer that?
When we look at the statistic on the public side, obviously on the private side, there is a lack of statistics by definition, and that answers the question. But looking at the public debt market, I think at least for leveraged loan transaction, the average leverage was probably around 5.5 times over 2020, 2021, a bit less in 2023. And I would argue that it is probably above on average, at least the private debt deals that we see. That being said, I think your question is also very relevant with regard to add-backs. I think there has been a lot of adjustment, add-backs to what we call structuring EBITDA. And it is true that sometimes some transactions were marketed as, let's say, the typical 4 times leverage transaction, but in reality, they were more like 5.5, 6 times. I think you are going to have some people who will have surprise in their portfolio because actually the adjustments were too aggressive and did not materialize. That's a trend that we are pushing back very aggressively because we think it's not good for the market, as simple as that. In our portfolio, what we see today is the average leverage on the investment is probably hovering around 3.5 times, a bit lower than that now. So I think our structuring EBITDA were probably sound, but I think this trend of add back is something that we have to push back very aggressively on.
Thank you. So it's very much about credit selection and process.